Hello, today we're going to be working on lesson 10-1, which is on page 234, 235, and then we're going to be doing some problems on page 236. This can be found in your Holt website. You know how to access that. First thing I want to do is go over a couple things that we need to remember for this. And the first thing is I'd like to talk to you about area again. Area is a two-dimensional measurement, and it is the amount of surface area a figure covers. Area is measured in square units. Here you can see we have a couple examples of 1 square unit by 1 meter by 1 meter, 1 millimeter by 1 millimeter, and 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. And we calculate the area of a rectangle by multiplying the length times the width of that. And on a square, I guess it really doesn't matter, does it? Because they're both the same. All right, so moving forward, to start this lesson off, we need to first do some estimating. And example 1 is estimating the area of an irregular figure. This is one of the state standards that we need to definitely know, so we're just going to be touching on this one again because you know how to do it. So if you take a look, we've done this before, but just to bring it out and recall it again, the first thing we're going to do is count all the full squares, which are the red ones. So if you can see, they colored all the red ones in red, and there's a total of 16 of them. Okay. Then we count the almost full squares, which are the ones that are more than half but less than a whole. You can see they're all blue. All right, there's a sliver here on blue, there's a sliver missing off that one, but they're almost wholes. So we're counting all of them. Okay, and then the last one that we're actually going to count are the halves. And the halves are green. So if it's close to half, we're going to count it. All right, for that one's maybe just a little bit less, but we're still going to count it. It's so close. Same thing here and here. All right, so now that we've colored in our shape, now we can go back and do some counting. So the red ones, we count them all up, and we ended up with 16. Okay, and we count those as wholes, 16 whole square units. And then the blue ones we count up, and we're also going to count those as wholes. And you count them all up, we end up with 11. And then the green ones are the about half, and so we're going to count them up, and you'll see we end up getting 4. But because they're halves, we're going to actually divide that number by 2 to create wholes. So 4 halves equal 2 wholes. In here you can see the math. We took our 16 red and we added them with our 11 whole or almost wholes with our 2 halves to get a total of 29 square units. All right, now I've created another shape and it looks like this. This is one for us to do together. So the first thing we want to do is, just like in the other shape, we want to color in all the holes. And all of our holes are going to be red. So we'll start right here. Now note, my coloring is not beautiful, but you get the picture. All right, we don't have all day for me to stay in the lines, and you know that this is going to be a challenge for me. Okay, so I'm coloring all of the holes in, and it looks absolutely beautiful. I know some of you are judging me right now. That's okay. All right, I can't hear you anyways. So I have all my holes colored in red, except for this one right here. Yep, beautiful. Wow, my kindergarten teacher would be proud. All right, so the next thing I want to do is color in all my about holes. All my about holes, and I'm going to use some green for that. As you can tell, it's green, so I'm going to go, hey, guess what? That one's about hole. This one definitely is about hole. Let's hop over here to this one is about hole. And this one is about hole. This one's way over half. Let's do this one. Kind of just working around the shape here. You're going to see, you remember doing this, I'm sure. But I want to start with an activity that you are familiar with so that we could feel comfortable and confident going forward on the other things we're going to be doing. Okay, I think that's all of them. Yep, looks about right. All right, so we're done with that. Now we need to go back and color in the halves. And we're going to use that Minnesota Vikings purple. All right, this one definitely is about half. This one is about half, and this one's about half. And we'll call this one half. See any other halves? Yep, let's count this one as a half. Anything else? I think that's about it. Okay, and then the last are the ones that are the ones we're actually going to ignore, but we're going to color them blue anyways. This one here, boy, that one we could definitely call it as a half. That's kind of close. Let's count it. Let's see. Let's just count it today. Now the big thing is not to get hung up on is it a half or is it ignore? Because remember, this is an estimate, and because it's an estimate, I mean, we don't need to be exactly correct. It's just an estimate. Now, of course, that is a purple, Mr. K. That's okay. I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes. There we go. Beautiful. All right. So the ones that are not going to be counted. There's that blue one there. Here's a sliver over here and a sliver over there. We're not going to count. I'm not going to count any of this jazz over here or this. Oops, those are outside, my bad. Or these inside here. We're not going to count this. Any of that. Even though they're, the half is about here, but we're just not going to count them. It's an estimate. We don't need to be perfect, all right? And that's the important part of what's called estimating the area of an irregular shape. All right, so now we count them all up, and we go with the red ones first. And then what I like to do is use a different color marker or a different pencil or something so that I know which ones I've counted. And so in doing that, I'm going to use there. So here's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I have 15 holes. So there's 15 holes. Now I know which ones I've already counted, see? And now I'm going to count my about holes, which, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We have 13 of those. And now our halves. Our halves are purple, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, I think that's right. 6. Yep. And so we have those all done. So now we're going to add those. Create 6. And our ignores, we don't even need to count because we're just not counting them. Now I'm just going to double check. Yep, it looks like, double checking your work is always good, especially when it comes to math or carpentry. Measure twice, cut once. So now we're going to create, find the sum of all three of these, but there's one thing we have to do with our halves. We actually have to divide by 2 so we can figure how many holes we have, because 2 halves equal a whole. So what's half of 6 is 3. All right, now we can find that sum. So we have 15 plus 13 plus 3. So if we add these together, 13 plus 3, we get 16. And then 16 plus 15, if you don't know how to do it in your head, you can just do it on the side here. 16 plus 15. And you're going to get your 1 here and carry your 10 over. And now you get 31. And it's, let's see, these are meters, right? Let's call those meters square meters. So it's going to be meters squared, or 31 square meters. And that, folks, is how you find the area, estimated area of an irregular figure.